On a scorching July afternoon in the Midwest, the sun blazed fiercely. The air was filled with the scent of hay and diesel. At the heart of a vast agricultural fair, amidst gleaming machinery and men in suits, a brand-new automated harvester stood silent, broken, still, as if stubbornly refusing to cooperate. It was meant to be the centerpiece of the day, a proud innovation by Agri-Tech Industries. The company's CEO, Thomas Carlyle, was present. Renowned for his intellect and ambition, Thomas was respected in boardrooms but feared for his temper. Thomas glared at the engineers fumbling with the harvester's control panel. His shirt clung to his back with sweat. 3 hours and still nothing, he snapped. The team muttered excuses, sweat pouring down their faces. Outside the barrier stood a teenage girl, around 17, watching with curiosity. Her jeans were stained with dirt, her braids slightly undone. Her name was Clara McAllister. She didn't fit into this shiny world, but her father, John McAllister, had worked this land for over 20 years. Clara had grown up seeing machines break and men curse. More importantly, she had learned how to fix them. Thomas noticed her gaze. "Got something to say?" he asked, half sarcastic. Clara shrugged. "Looks like a sensor misread. Maybe a software glitch." He laughed. "And you'd know that because?" "Because I've rebuilt 3 of these machines since I was 12, she replied calmly. The crowd chuckled. The CEO smirked. "All right then, Miss McAllister. Fix it." There was mockery in his tone, but Clara didn't hesitate. She climbed over the barrier, walked straight to the control panel, and began working with practiced ease. Her fingers moved quickly, rewiring, recalibrating, rebooting. Within 10 minutes, the machine roared to life like a sleeping giant awakened. Gasps swept through the crowd. The engineers were stunned. Thomas couldn't believe his eyes. "How did you?" Clara brushed off her hands. "Told you. The sensor was reading wrong. You were feeding it conflicting data." Thomas was speechless. Then he slowly clapped. Others followed, and soon the field echoed with applause. As the sun set, bathing the sky in golden and rose hues, Thomas found Clara sitting on a haystack, sipping a soft drink. "Ever considered engineering?" he asked, sitting beside her. She shrugged. "Can't afford college." He looked at her carefully. "You said your name's McAllister?" "Yeah. John McAllister is my dad." Thomas's face changed. "Your father is John. The one who rebuilt our prototype in 2002. The one who worked unpaid during the strike so production wouldn't stop." Clara nodded. "That's him." Thomas leaned back, his eyes softening. He remembered John. Quiet, hardworking, loyal. A man who once gave up his own paycheck so younger workers could keep theirs. "Your father saved our company," Thomas whispered. The next morning, a letter arrived at the McAllister farm. It bore the Agri-Tech logo and Clara's name. A full scholarship to MIT, personally sponsored by Thomas Carlyle. Inside was a note: "Talent needs wings, not weight. You and your father have carried enough. Let us carry you now." Years passed. Clara graduated with honors, returned to her roots, and developed agricultural machines that transformed farming across America. But more importantly, she never forgot the day she crossed a line drawn by assumption and rewrote her future. And whenever she gave a keynote speech, whenever a young girl asked, "Are you really just a farmer's daughter?" she would smile and say, "Yes," and that made all the difference. Because sometimes, all it takes is for someone to look past the dirt on your jeans and see the brilliance in your hands. Because compassion opens doors that judgment shuts. Because when kindness meets courage, lives are changed. And that is how a farmer's daughter taught a CEO the value of humility, the strength of legacy, and the extraordinary potential hidden in the most unassuming hearts. But the real twist came years later. On a stormy spring afternoon, Thomas Carlyle, now retired and diagnosed with a rare neurological condition, sat in a quiet clinic, awaiting a new experimental treatment. The lead researcher walked in, confident, calm, familiar. It was Clara. She smiled gently. "You gave me a future once. Now it's my turn to give you yours." As Thomas watched her work, he realized that the investment he made wasn't just in a smart girl, it was in humanity itself. The hands that once fixed his machine were now shaping medical technology that could save his life. Because the seeds of kindness, when sown in faith, always come back as harvests of hope.